I want to say this is a long rant that had a purpose, but because of my mental mind and processing, I went on many tangents and other opinions with innovation gaming and other things. It's just a long 33-minute rant and opinions of me, Shane, or Quakeman, whatever name you know me by. Thanks for watching, and sorry how much I go on with no central topic.
Hey everyone, this is Quakeman. I'll try to keep this as happy as possible, but it's kind of hard to and everything. One of the facts I want to say and pretty much do as a disclaimer before I do this video is I want to let everyone know that I'm not 100% correct on this stuff. Everything I say does not mean it's absolute true, but it's stuff that I've read up and known for years. It could be different, it could be the same, I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know. This is all my opinion about this sort of subject, and this is something I've been avoiding because I know for a fact that I'm wasting my time making a video like this, but I want to because I just can't help myself right now. So, it is now 2013, and as much as I really love gaming, I love the experience of playing games and the creativity people become with them, I'm noticing a pattern right now that gaming is kind of dying as it is. I mean, as a whole. And there's a lot of subjects that go into it. And I'm scared of going over tangents after tangents, not staying on a right path. And I know some of you people are okay with that. Some people don't. So, for me, when I grew up with gaming, and I'm sorry to give a weird history lesson here before I go to my opinions here, but every time there was a game I played, it was always a great innovation. You know, I still have my N64, I still have my Dreamcast that was given to me a couple of years ago by my friend Chopstick, and you know, and playing these games were very impressive, very interesting, and I really like how much innovation and creativity comes to these sort of games. Now I feel like there hasn't been an innovative game in at least 2 years. And I really am being serious about that. Now, as much as, I liked Black Ops 2, I like Battlefield 3, I like all these different games, just because I like them does not mean I think they're very innovative, okay? They're not innovative. And I'm actually getting scared because I grew up under first-person shooters, and I love the creativity people can do with it. Chaser, the playthrough I'm doing currently, is very interesting because, I mean, I don't know what was the first game that added the whole, what do you call it? I don't know what was the first game that introduced the whole slow-mo option. But so far, I feel like Chaser is the first game that did it. Because originally I thought it was Fear. Because Fear was the first game I've ever played that had a slow-mo effect. And now playing Chaser, they have that adrenaline mode, which is like a slow-mo effect. And that was very interesting and innovative. The story, as much as it's lacking a bit, especially if there's some moments in the game that, you know, don't talk when they should, I'm very interested on the characters. I'm very interested on everything about it. What happened, and as much as I kind of forgot his name by this point, what happened to the guy that was helping you out during the Valera situation? You know, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link to the Chaser playlist. At the time of this recording, it's up to part 47. But anyways, I just really like how the story's going, and the innovation of all these guns and stuff like that, especially since the game takes place in like 2035 and all the weapons are freaking, you know, 1990 weapons. I find it very interesting and innovative for a game, and it makes me kind of sad that the company Cauldron doesn't really exist anymore and they make stupid games to begin with. Because as I'm playing Chaser, I hope the ending is good enough, because if it is good enough, it may justify me saying that there should be a sequel. But at this point in time, I really wouldn't say anything. But there's that game, but like, you know, I played Fear and that was awesome. All the Quake games, all the Doom games, even Doom 3, even though I loved it and people hate it, who cares? You know, every game I've played since then always had some sort of innovation than just it being a sequel. You know, when you play Unreal Tournament 99 to Unreal Tournament 2004, and I know there's 2003, but I didn't really like it too much, there's a huge difference. From 2004 to Unreal Tournament 3 ruined it a bit, because it felt more like Gears of War in a sense than freaking Unreal Tournament. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I had it on Xbox, although I'm a little pissed that Xbox did not get any of the functions that the PS3 and PC did. But whatever, Microsoft, whatever you want to do. The innovation is always impressive. Now, the last innovative game, like I said, was about 2 years ago, was actually this game, Dance Central. Now, as much as I really do not like the Kinect for any other game, etc., Dance Central was the only one I actually was impressed by because, well, instead of it being the stupid, ooh, I'm just going to move my hands and do this and everything with games like Kinect Adventures, which I may be destroying that disc at one point. I have Kinect Adventures. I want to destroy that. Dance Central is the only game I really am impressed by. And because it's by Harmonix, which made Rock Band, which is beautiful beyond anything, as well as Frequency and Amplitude. If you guys never played that, those are awesome for PS2. Harmonix did a fantastic job with this game. And the third one is even more impressive because of how much they innovated. And this is what I'm talking about. The first game is a dancing game. Has a lot of good songs on the list, varying between techno, hip-hop, rap, all that stuff, all the different moves you can do. Has some very interesting characters, DLC songs you can download, if you care about that. And it's really fun because, like, not only are you playing these songs and you're learning these moves, you could actually use these moves in maybe real-life scenarios. I have, actually. I don't want to talk about that story, but I have actually done some of the moves for, moves like Jagger and Jay Sean's Down. I've actually done those in public places when they play on the radio and stuff, and it was fantastic. I'll leave it at that. So you're kind of learning how to play the song. Obviously, they're not the full songs because they kind of cut it down just so they can, make it easier for people to play, because games like Just Dance, trying to dance to an 8-minute song, whatever. I'll leave it at that. But the thing that was lacking with the first game was the fact that there wasn't many options besides just break it down and dancing to it. There was a challenge mode that wasn't very impressive per se. I'm enjoying it, but, not everyone enjoys everything. And you could only play it by one person. The second game, however, which I do have with me right here, the second game of Dance Central, stepped it up by adding better crew challenges systems, adding more characters to choose from, costume design, able to take the first Dance Central and put it into this game. So you have even more songs, as well as DLC in the back there, more stuff to unlock, more things to do, more everything, basically, and 2-player at the same time play. Now, there is a dance battle mode that is actually pretty fun, and I actually enjoy it with my friends. Where basically, when you're both dancing, and regardless of difficulty, the points are still the same. As long as you get a nice or a flawless, depends on the points on each cue cards. But sometimes it will do flashlight modes where, player 2 is the only one who danced, and that gets double points. Then it's double. Then there's a thing called free-to-play, where random moves from the song will pop up, and you have to dance to them to get extra points and stuff like that. To me, I had so much fun with it, and I loved playing the battle mode with my friends, but the performance is where it's at. There's a lot of options to it. The fitness mode is pretty interesting to track on your calorie counts and how many hours you've been playing the game, which I really, really like that settings. The crew challenges are a lot of fun, more costumes to unlock, basically, and I really like it. I really like how the second one is set up, and how a lot more better it is, especially since they have a lot more better song choices than they did in the first one. The first one had, I think 36, this one has 44, and Dance Central 3, which I do not have yet, has 46. And if you put those all together, that's about 100 songs you have available right there. And that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I'm very happy with that, as well as DLC. As well as the third one adds much more better options to the dance battle mode, especially since they added a mode where you can kind of create your own moves, as well as as the song's playing, you kind of just dance on your own, and the game will kind of register how your body's moving to see if it counts towards the song, and if it counts towards being a good point or not, and stuff like that. It has a story mode, which is interesting, and a lot more better options to it, and I'm very happy how Dance Central is becoming. Harmonix has done a very impressive job, and I know there's a new game that comes out every year. I know that. It's still impressive. This is innovation I'm talking about. Now, of course, I don't like Kinect per se with any other games, but with Dance Central, I really am impressed with what they do with it. Much more better than, say, Just Dance on the Wii. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, is I haven't seen much innovation for a very long time. Not many first-person shooters really have come out. Now, I will give credit. Blacklight Retribution was innovation there, and it fixed the problems that Tango Down have, which I still kind of enjoy playing with some of my friends from time to time, but Blacklight Tango Down had too many problems with it, and I'm very happy that they learned from that, they fixed it, and made it free-to-play, and made it actually fucking worth it, because most free-to-plays just do some bullshit tactics to make it, like, make you pretty much where you want to buy a freaking premium, but that shouldn't happen. The buying the premium ship thing and everything and using real money to get in the game should be for people who actually enjoy the game a lot to buy it, not for people who just want to jump in and have some fun. There's some games that have done that I don't want to list. But I haven't seen much innovations for games that much anymore. I used to play Quake 3 Arena so much, but apparently no one plays that anymore, and replacement of, kind of ticks me off, of Quake Live. And I will respect Quake Live was pretty good, but yeah. But I haven't seen much innovation going on, and all I've seen is either sequels or spin-offs or reboots. And don't get me wrong, sometimes reboots are pretty good if they do it right. Sequels are pretty good depending on how they do it. And I gotta say, sometimes HD remakes do a good job with what they do, especially the Hitman HD that came out recently, which was kind of interesting because they did exactly what I was surprised they were going to do. So basically, if you buy the HD trilogy, one disc has Contracts and the other game, I forget what it's called, and then it has another disc for Blood Money, because Blood Money was already released on the Xbox and already had achievements, so there's no point to really do anything with that. But because the other two games didn't get it one, they now have achievement lists. I like that. That's kind of like what they did with Metal Gear Solid HD in the sense where Peace Walker has its own set, while 2 and 3 have separate achievements on the single disc. I like that. I think that's a pretty good option. I'm trying to think now. So the reason I was talking about this, this will be a very long video, and if you watch all of this, I will say thank you so much. This is just an opinion and my thoughts. So the reason I say that, though, is because it's 2013. The PS3 is about 5 years old, and the Xbox is about 8. Yeah, the 360 is about 8 years old. And what really makes me kind of sad, though, is the rumors that came out from Microsoft and the patent that came out actually a couple months ago from Sony, and the fact that there's going to be an announcement for a PS4. The fact is that they're trying to get rid of the used game market. And before anyone says a freaking word, this has nothing to do with GameSpot's stupidity on how they, you return money, games, whatever, okay? This is how things been for a very long time, that we've always bought items that have been used before. You go to Goodwill, those clothes has been used. You go to thrift stores, they have been used. Go to pawn shops, that's how it's been. And for a very long time, I've never seen many people do anything to restrict your idea of buying anything. And it really bugs me. It really does, because it's like, I'm trying to figure out how to say the right words. It's like everyone seems to be just fine with it so far, that we know, that games are the only one that seems to be very in on the whole thing. And it all started with EA doing their stupid Project 10 system, which originally when it came out, I liked the idea because it was like, oh, if you bought it used, you don't have the VIP. And the VIP gets you access to the new maps when they get released and everything. If you don't have a VIP, that's fine. You can still play through it, reach rank 50, platinum star every weapon, unlock every weapon, everything like that. The only difference is you don't have access to the new maps unless you get VIP, which I think was $10 or $20. Okay? That made sense to me, because the way I looked at it was like, well, you still had access to the game. Every disc, from up to down, you had access completely without a problem. And if you wanted the new maps, you get this VIP if you bought it new. That gave people reasons to buy it new, because if you bought it new, you got these new maps pretty much for free. If you bought it used, well, you just won't have that maps, but you still have access to the entire content of the game. Now, restricting content is a problem. You don't do that. Now, obviously, for some reason, business standpoint, I don't know shit, I guess, but as a consumer myself and wanting to be a video game journalist, it's actually a big fucking problem. Okay? When you restrict content, you never know what's going to happen in the future, okay? Certain games are not going to be sold new anymore because you won't be able to reproduce it. Okay? Now, I'll give you one example, okay? I almost could not find a new copy of this. And the reason I'm saying that is because in the game, there's a code that you have to have, as well as $5 to transfer the songs for 2 and 3. I needed this new to do so. Now, I'm not complaining about that because I understand why they did that. I could not find a new copy at any stores. I had to go to an online store for harmonics to find the game. Okay? Because I guess they're still able to sell it. But this game is almost at the point where you won't be able to find a new copy. So if you are late on grabbing Dance Central 1, you're probably not going to be able to get the songs transferred anymore until they put on Games on Demand, which they haven't yet, which I think is weird. And yeah, I understand everyone saying, well, there's the whole Games on Demand thing. Well, Games on Demand is nice and all, but when it comes to someone like me, I like collecting my goddamn games. Now, obviously, I know not everyone's me where we like to actually have the physical media, but I like the physical media because it's more interesting. Plus, I have friends who want to borrow fucking games. Okay? We're in a situation where, like, not every game is not going to be a high expectations. Just because it has a lot of hype does not mean that's great. One example is Alien vs. Predator 3 or whatever, okay? Now, I did enjoy it, and I love playing it with my friend Acid and everything, but the problem with that game is that there's so many tight things on it. It was the same reproduction map, but rechanged for the campaign, and I understand it's supposed to be as if they're all connected, but when the maps are exactly detailed the exact same way, no changes whatsoever, you just go a different path and route and objectives, that's really not smart. Now, AVP 2 did a really good job with that, where you do meet up areas that you went through before, but they weren't like just 100% reproduction of the same map. It was a completely new map with a different experience, and new levels connected to each one of them. While 3 was just basically the same map 5 times on 3 campaigns. Yeah. And I bought that new, and because I bought it new for $60, it really, really turned me off to not really liking the game at all. But if I bought it for less money, I probably would have a different opinion. So yeah, money does involve how you view in a game. And when you look at something like Kingdoms of Amalur, which is a great game personally, but for $60 and the fact there is an online pass for DLC, yeah, fuck you, And I do feel bad for Kurt Schillings and his company shutting down, but if they didn't include the stupid online pass, and they've done something different with it, they would have actually earned a little bit more. But at the same time, I will say it's the used game market and all this other stuff. It's interconnected all over the place things. It's hard to really say much else than that. In a way, Spider. Anyways, I like to borrow games from people because I like to give an understanding if I'm going to like it or not. If I like it, yeah, I'll buy it new. If I don't, I may buy it used because I can. Now, again, I understand that businesses need money to thrive. They need money to continue. That's what happened to THQ, but I won't go into that. They need money to continue. They need money to still, operate and actually make more games between the developers and the publishers. But when you look at a publisher who has already a very high established of all these games that do sell well, doing the whole online class makes actually goddamn no sense. I can understand when it's a company that's brand new, like 38 Studios, and trying to thrive more. But EA has Battlefield, Medal of Honor, Mass Effect, has freaking, what is it? The Criterion Company who did Burnout. They have the Need for Speed series, I believe, and the Most Wanted that just came out. They have Crysis 3 that comes out in about a week, I think. You know, and all those games are very high-selling franchises. So the whole online pass system still kind of bugs me, and it makes no sense to me at all about it. Really, it just I would think they would try to do something else than that. But in comparison, I want to say one thing. I'm all over the place, and if you can handle my discussion, thank you, because I have way too much on my mind as it is that it's hard for me to keep straight. Now, most people try to make the argument that, well, guess what? What about books, CDs, and movies? You know, they never complain about used game sales, as well as places like Bookman's and all this other stuff that exists that sells these used copies or whatever. Well, the difference is this, and I understand why people make that connection. CDs, music people, now, of course, this is by what I read. Obviously, I'm not 100% correct, so anyone could correct me if they want to. That majority of the money that the publishers and the band earns mostly comes from radio plays. Because when a band has a single that comes out, like a band that I like recently, called A Story So Far, which is this is their first album, and their next album comes out in March, okay? Their single that is now public is called Right Now. Love the song. That song is a single that probably is now playing on radios right now. And since there's over 800 or more radios in the world, as well as maybe about 10 or 20% of it will play their genre, it costs maybe, I think it's like $1 or $5, depending on the company or whatever, to play a song. And every time it gets played, they have to pay royalties for that, okay? Because the radio stations get paid for what they do for being radio people. So when you think about it being played a lot to get people pumped for the new album or whatever, as well as other songs, that's where most of their money comes through. And since radios are 24/7 and all over the world, you understand. They do get CD sales, but that's not really the main reason, kind of. And actually, most of their stuff actually comes from concerts, I believe. But again, I don't know. That's just going for me. Books, I don't know too much about it, but I just think they're fine. I mean, it's like $30 for a book sometimes. So I don't understand the whole complaining and everything. As for movies, most of their revenue comes from the box office, which is where where most of the revenue comes from. They do get money from DVD sales, and they do get money from stuff like that, but most of their money comes from box office. You know, and how much is a box office cost? Sometimes $7 to $10 if you buy on a standard. If you get 3D, that's different, but you know what I mean. That's the whole setup here. Now, of course, video games have no other options except for new copies, and the only way that games can thrive is they have to be sold new copies. But when we're in a situation where the economy in the United States is really terrible, for one, and not everyone has a job. Like, I'm still trying to get a freaking job, which is kind of shocking how it's hard to find a whatever. Personal feelings, don't need to know. People can't buy new games automatically. Like, I haven't bought in Borderlands 2 or Resident Evil 6. Shut up for anyone who wants to tell me. I'm still getting it. I still like it. I missed out on Assassin's Creed 3. The only reason I was able to get Black Ops 2 and Far Cry 3 was because I got them as a Christmas gift. Like, if I didn't get them as Christmas gift, I would not have gotten them. At all. And I'm in a situation where I'm missing on so many different games that I really actually want to play. And it just kind of sucks that I don't have the money for it. And at one point, because of how struggling money is, that's the reason why used game sales happen. Plus, it's going to exist. Period. You can't take something that was already bought by an original consumer and count it as new. It's false advertising and it's actually illegal. You can't do that. Now, again, one of the things I want to point out is if you want to get people to buy your games new, you want to make sure you give an incentive to the consumer that does not outbalance the people who buy it used without restricting content. One example is that if you bought Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which sucks, I know, I still liked it, as well as Alan Wake, you got access to the first piece of single-player DLC for free. For free. If you bought it new. Bought it used, you got to buy the DLC yourself, which is really not that big of a deal. I like the DLC for Alan Wake and for Operation Raccoon City. I actually like Operation Raccoon City. But I'll stop right there again. You want to give people an incentive to buy it new. And no, pre-ordering does not fucking count. Do not do pre-ordering as that sort of way of getting people to buy it new. Because it's still. But you want to give people an incentive to buy the game new without restricting content. Okay? I don't like it that I can't play online or play co-op or do anything like that unless I have an online goddamn pass. Okay? Now, I do buy my games new because I support companies. But when I'm strict on money, like I'm trying to live on my own, or maybe I just don't have the money to buy a $60 goddamn game, don't do that. You're punishing consumers who are just whatever, you know. I don't know. Crap, I had another thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah. It's so stupid. And also, restricting single-player content is so bad. Oh yeah, also, I forgot. Down the road, this is going to be really terrible. Now, when the new Xbox and PS4 comes out, or whatever the fuck it's going to be, I'll tell you right now that that some companies are going to be pulling off DLC and access to certain things. So, if someone does happen to buy Battlefield 3 or some other game that I have that has that stupid online pass, if people start picking those things up, after a couple years, it's like, oh, I want to, you know, do this. Oh, you can't now because apparently the online pass doesn't exist. Oh yeah, and I also forgot that I think it was the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit game, there's a situation where the online pass actually does expire, apparently, if you buy it new. And EA, from what I remember of that article, EA did nothing to help. So, yeah, right now, as a business strategy, this is not good. And it's punishing consumers big time. It's like the always online DRM that Diablo 3 kind of did. What you need to do, and again, I understand I don't have a business degree, I don't have a business, I'm just one person who has a YouTube account who's spouting words or whatever, but it's just like this, okay? You don't need to punish consumers. You punish consumers, it's going to spread. Also, censoring people off of Twitter and YouTube is not another way of trying to hide the fact. That happened to a good YouTuber person I know named Nick Bunyan. When he caught a hacker within pretty much a day of the game coming out, instead of Activision or Treyarch going after the hacker, they removed his video and caused him to have a copyright strike because, ooh, bad press. Instead of us fixing the game, oh god, that's terrible, we're going to punish the consumers. No. Okay, and Sega already did this before with the Shining Force crap, okay? Now, of course, I understand, I don't understand copyright and all this crap, but we need a new information of copyright, too. And information travels fast. There's things you can't stop, but you can limit it. For example, you can't stop piracy, but you can try and limit it. You can try and cause people a reason to do so. Or better yet, make a better fucking demo. But besides that. So, well, I'm just trying to say, like, all of this, which I feel bad because I haven't even talked about the main press release about it. I just gave my opinions beforehand. Well, anyways, I'll say it quick, I guess. There's a rumor that the next Xbox will require an internet connection, and that they're doing something to pretty much discontinue used game market. And basically, if you bought a game used, there's a content ID within the disc, and if it doesn't match your console that it was first originally on, you can't touch the game. Literally, you can't touch it. You can't even play it, you can't even go through the options, you can't do shit. All because of this whole patent that Sony and Microsoft are trying to do. Yeah, fuck all of you. You know, I'm very scared about how gaming is becoming. No one seems to be very innovative, they never take risks, they never look at good options for the player to be interested in, and they're more focused on following the bandwagon, okay? It's just like how I am, okay? I don't follow the bandwagon when I try to do my account. I don't say shit at the end of my video. I don't act in any way, shape, or form like I'm whatever. And again, I'm not trying to name names. I respect the people, what they do, but the people who do playthroughs and Let's Plays have some sort of acting attitude, and I can just fucking tell. I really can. Okay? When you watch people who do live streams, that's how they're actually playing the game. But when you watch recorded videos, it's a recorded video, and sometimes people are acting. I never try to act, okay? And if I do, fine, I'll stop my YouTube. But the thing is I don't. I try my best not to. I play the game, enjoy it, and just have some fun. Because games are always different regardless of how many times you play it, okay? Doom 3 is one of those examples, okay? My very old recordings, which I still don't understand why I still have them. I may have removed them, maybe not, I don't know. But they suck still, in my opinion. How random crap happens, like the ragdoll effects, where there's one moment in one of the videos where the imp looks like he does like a kick thing, like a karate kick before his body disappears, okay? When I play that game again, that's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen because it's different per experience. Every time you play the game, random crap always happens. Glitches happen, and that's what makes gaming fun because no matter how many times you play it and you know the story, random just shit happens all the time. You know, and you just don't expect it at all. At all. And that's what I like about gaming. That's what I like about recording my games and just having fun. You know? Because just random shit happens, okay? But we need a new definition of copyright. Because when you make a game for people to do, and now live streaming EME access to thing or stuff like that, I don't like what's going on. I've seen people who aren't already a YouTube partner post videos of like Rock Band or Dance Central, and you know what happens? Oh, they get a copyright strike. They're trying to play the game and at least show people about the score of the game or whatever like that. And when you do that to people, it's like, no. I understand that the music there is copyright, but you should not do that, okay? And it's just, I don't know. This entire thing is an opinion video. The title of it is probably just going to be Quakeman Long Rant About Random Shit. That's pretty much all the title is going to be. Because that's all it seems that I'm doing right now. But yeah, I'm scared of gaming. I'm scared of pursuing any of my dreams nowadays. Which hurts. But apparently, that's the world. The world hurts. Who fucking cares? Anyways, that's it. That's all I gotta say. If you watched the entire video, thank you so much. If not, okay. I think I just wasted my time making this, and I think it's like 25 minutes long. Whatever. Anyways, take care.